Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm going to be reacting to what is the difference between consciousness and the mind. So this was a request, I do request. If you have a request, please leave the name of the video, the YouTube channel, and the length of it so I can search for it. You can put the link too if you want, but it has a chance of being held for review because I guess people are spamming their own channels, promoting in other channels. Anyway, so what is the difference between consciousness and mind? A long time ago, I would have said your consciousness is you just being awake, aware. Not in the sense of how Hindu sees awake and aware, or Guru Swami sees that. I meant like literally, I'm awake, I can see you, I am talking to you, that is consciousness. I am not unconscious. That's how I would have originally thought about it. The mind is obviously your brain. The mind and brain, I think, were indistinguishable back in the day for me. Now, going a little bit forward, I don't know if I'm trying to think of a time where I see those two as separate, but it's kind of hard now to remember what I thought of previously. But consciousness, I still kind of think of it that way actually, just being aware. And the mind is, in a sense, your brain or how your brain thinks. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah. From the definition wise, what is the difference between consciousness, mind, soul? And they all appear to be near to each other and in the cycle of rebirth.
Soul is completely different. In the Western world, I'm sure for the most part, soul is this spirit. Soul and spirit are in a sense the same, I do believe, at least as far as I know. And this is what Richard Dawkins and the Indian philosopher were having a major issue about. And Richard Dawkins did understand. I think he was trying to help him out because, again, in most Western places, soul, spirit are heavily tied to the human afterlife. Nothing else. Animals, they don't know if animals have souls. They don't know. In Western life, there's no soul in inanimate objects for sure. Animals, I'm not too sure what they think about that. I've never really asked. I've not heard of anything like that. So I assume that there are no souls in animals, and then humans are the only one that has the exclusive rights to souls.
You see, this question requires very lot of elaboration, but I'll try and give a summary answer rather than a kind of wide or broader answer, because it's a very long, very detailed question.
CC's not working.
You see, we all sometimes when you use things like metaphysical, spiritual, or mind and body, we kind of confuse and use these words interchangeably, and sometimes we get into bigger confusion. Let's tidy up. The best place to tidy up this idea of consciousness or mind and body, etc., is actually Taittiriya Upanishad, one of the best Upanishads of the Hindu tradition. This Upanishad says, in order to analyze the individual, we as human being, let us explore our own being. So this is how they explored. They say we are made up of 5 sheets, as if we've got 5 layers to ourselves, 5 sheets. The 5 sheets we possess are, the most external one is, if you like, the body. It's called the Annamoya Kosh, made of body, physical food creates the body, Annamoya Kosh. Then they say underpinning the Annamoya Kosh, there is, if you like, the Pranamaya Kosh, that seems to be kind of bringing the body together. The thing that was, at the time of gastrulation was holding making the cells come together, etc. There's a second sheath to us, which is the Pranamaya, means, if you like, the life force, which is bringing the body together. So the underpinning the physical body is the Pranamaya Kosh. It says it doesn't stop there. Underpinning the Pranamaya Kosh is the Manomaya Kosh, means the mental mode. So what's that? You see, even the body and this, if you like, the force that is holding my body together, prana, both of these can only be accessed by me or be understood by me if they are reflected on some kind of underpinning that I already possess, called my mind, Manomaya Kosh. So the body and this body physical powers that I possess are reflected, are kind of, only way I can see them are if they are reflected on this something that is like a lake that I possess, on which they are kind of bounced, and the lake goes, and that I call, that is the body. So the mana, the mind I use to make sense of my body and the world I see around me is my third layer.
Okay, so the first layer is just the physical body, everything created by food matter. Like I understood that. The second layer is what I'm a little bit confused about. I guess he's talking about like the DNA, which tells how to create the body, how the finger is made, how the nails grow, how your hair grows. Basically, the thing that is the workings of underneath the body, like how you grow, your eyes, your cells, your hair, all that grows. I'm thinking that's the second layer. Third layer is saying just the mind.
Pinning me, manomaya kosh. Does it stop there? No, we are greedy. It's underpinning. The manomaya kosh is the vijnanamaya kosh. Vijnan, what's that? This is the intellect. When the mind sees the world, it immediately starts putting things or the objects that it sees into little boxes. It starts to classify, relate, kind of link up things and objects and events. And this is, if you like, the vijnanamaya kosh that we all possess, the intellect, the buddhi. So you got the physical body, annamaya kosh, the pranamaya kosh, the manomaya kosh, and then vijnanamaya kosh, intellect. So it's not just the mind that is reflecting the world, but the thing that is able to classify things that are in the mind, starts linking them up. If we didn't have that, the difference between human and animal is that the animal kingdom, they have the manomaya kosh, the mind is reflecting the world, they see the world, but they can't classify it properly, so it's kind of hazy and fuzzy.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense now, because I was thinking like the mind reflects the world. We see the world through our minds, in a sense, through our eyes and into our minds. And the intellect as being the separate thing. Whenever he said animals, I was like, yes, animals. I can't know for sure. I didn't study animals very much. I don't know if they have memory. I think they do. Again, I explained elephants. No, they take the same path every time whenever they migrate. It's been a while since I watched a few animal episodes. And then the goldfish thing where they have a 3-second memory, but in reality they don't. I think Mythbusters prove that that they can see a color and know to go through it to go to food. So they do have memory, but I don't know. But there's still this intellect that we have over animals. And that's something that's different from animals, because obviously if animals were as smart as us, then they would be, building civilizations like we were, but they're not. So animals, I think they prove that animals have memory. Now, which animals, I'm not sure. And I don't know how long they can retain that memory too. And it's maybe part of a survival instinct more than likely, especially with the goldfish saying, hey, that looks familiar. It reminds me of food, so he follows the colors to get to the food source.
With the human, the intellectual course, this buddhi or the vijnanamaya kosh is visible, come into play. So it starts classifying objects, events, links. This is the vijnanamaya kosh. Underpinning this is where the conscious chap sits. That is your anandamaya kosh. The word anand is used in a very loose manner. What it says, the underpinning is spirit, and the nature of the spirit is anand. The nature of the spirit is bliss. The nature of the spirit is consciousness. So the way we define Brahman, suppose you didn't, this for A level, but suppose you wanted to understand Brahman, how do you find me words? Then the 3 words the Adi Shankara would use to define Brahman are lovely stuff. In some terminology it says Sat Chit Anand. In some they will say it is Asti Bhati Priya. It is of the nature of existence itself. It is of the nature of consciousness itself. It is of the nature of bliss itself. They are not 3 separate things. There are 3 different ways of expressing the same thing. 3 different vocabulary, 3 different words to express like that. 3 words to express the same underpinning. That is your spirit. So underpinning all this thing is the Anandamaya Kosh, that is your spirit, and that is where the word consciousness comes. So Man is not conscious. Man becomes conscious when consciousness goes through, that becomes vibrant, it becomes enlivened by consciousness percolating through it. So the spirit is underpinning, and when it appears through the prisms of the mind, the intellect, the mind, the body, then you see all this variety of things. but the spirit is conscious. So make the distinction between consciousness and mind. It's not the same. Mind is like an external garment that gets lit up by the spirit that's underpinning it.
Okay, that was pretty short. Okay, so again, I do understand that. Much like Swami was talking about how the Turiya itself illuminates all the thoughts in your head. And I was wondering how he was going to get 5 layers out of that, and I get it. The physical body, I do believe, the first one was pretty clear and obvious. The physical body, you know, how proteins and whatever else formulate your body. Second is I'm assuming it's the DNA, RNA, and all of that how those proteins are used in your body to develop your body. Third being the mind itself, how it projects the world, how our 5 senses are connected to the mind. The fourth is the intellect. It's something that's different from animals, where we have a higher level of intellect than animals. Animals may have some memories, have some intellect. Most of them are instinctual. But we have this unique factor that's separate from animals, that separate us from animals, even though we're still animals. And then the fifth being the consciousness, which I understand. At least in this one, it was a little difficult to understand him a little bit. I definitely have to hear him. I'm kind of amazed that CC didn't pick up on that. But I don't know if he's saying that the consciousness is separate from the body in this one. Yeah, I don't know if this is duality or non-duality. Again, this is merely probably just him trying to explain a certain point and not trying to add or subtract anything from that point. Not saying that, oh, and we live in a non-duality world. I mean, again, I don't know. I'm not sure. But and I'm trying to think along the lines of Swami as well, how he explained it and how the terminology is a little bit different with him. I guess they're just, like he was saying, there's this one thing that are explained in 3 different ways or 3 different words to mean the exact same thing. I'm guessing maybe that's it. Or maybe is it a different teaching? Is that the right word? Like Buddhism, I'm sorry, I don't know any other Buddhism. I was going to say Hinduism, but that's not one particular path. I believe Hinduism is multiple paths, if I understand correctly. Buddhism is one specific path of Hinduism, though. Again, if I'm correct on that one. So I'm wondering if his teachings is just a different path from, say, Swami's path of Vedanta. Maybe it's a very specific version of Vedanta. I'm not sure, again. But anyways, that's my reaction to what is the difference between consciousness and mind. I understood that completely. I didn't understand the second layer. I think I did, but not too sure. I'm making an assumption because he even whenever he was going through the different layers again, he kind of just breezed past it a little bit and didn't really explain again as he went through the 5 layers. But then again, that may be just me because I understood all the other layers, and that one is the one where I'm wanting a little bit of a deeper understanding on that one. But alright, anyways, yeah, consciousness and mind. I completely understand that. And it is something very interesting to think that the mind is just a construct of the physical. It's a physical mind that is being destroyed, in a sense destroyed and recreated, because I forget how long, 2 years according to Sadhguru. I thought it was like 6 years or 8 years or something like that. That entirety of our body is no longer has original cells. So after, I thought it was 8 years. It might be 2 years. I don't remember. But and that includes our mind too. Our mind is just completely brand new mind, but yet it's the same. Anyways, that's my reaction to what is the difference between consciousness and mind. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.